freezing cold Saturday morning, about 6:30, and I'm on my way up to Glasgow to go pick up something special. I'm so excited.
Hypnotized by the sounds I'm breathing in. Hold tight, chemicals collide. Hold tight, hold tight, hold tight. Dripping lights paint the skies, all because of you.
Right, that's us fueled up, ready to go. Next stop, Glasgow.
Okay, so I got a little bit carried away on eBay there the past couple of days, and I've gone and bagged myself another Honda C90. Now the price of these things is skyrocketing at the minute, so I've paid 660 quid for it. It hasn't moved since 2001, hasn't been started, and yeah, should be interesting to see what we find. Chap who owns it lives on the Isle of Islay, but he's kindly had it shipped down to Glasgow by his mate, so I'm on my way to go meet Willie at his house in Glasgow. But it should be fairly interesting to see what we find. Fingers crossed.
All because of you. Dripping lights paint the sky.
Well, that's it all loaded. Looks alright, first glances. Time to just get it back and see what we've really got.
Can make rainbows. Can make me move. Can make me move. Can make rainbows. Can make me.
So I suppose this is what you'd call a barn find, although technically it wasn't in a barn and it was never lost. But story goes, the chap who last owned it died suddenly of a heart attack. This is what, back in 1997. And since his death, his house was abandoned with all his belongings inside it. Now about 2 years ago, the chap who I've bought it from had something to do with the demolition of his house and somehow came into possession of all his belongings. And inside the hallway was this little Honda C90.
Right, let's get it unloaded.
Open eye, feel the waves cut through me. Hypnotized by the sounds I'm breathing in. Hold tight, chemicals collide. Hold tight, hold tight, hold tight. Dripping lights paint the skies, all because of you. Dripping lights paint the skies, only you. Can make me move. Can make me move. Can make me move. Can make me move. Can make me.
Okay, so the story goes, the bike was last in use in 1997. The chap who owned its brother, after he died, took it in 2001 and put it back on the road. So it was last taxed in 2001 and it's had new tyres in 2001. So the tyres are brand new effectively, but obviously still 20 years old. So this hasn't run, engine hasn't run in, to the best of my knowledge, 20 years. So I'm not going to do anything to it, just as a bit of a technical exercise, and see if we can just get it to run. So the ignition switch is knackered, because we've lost the keys. So I'm going to swap the ignition switch and then put some fuel in it and give it a kick. See what happens. Bit rusty. Right, that's ignition switch in. Put some fuel in it. Well, it's not leaking out the carb, so either the floats are stuck or we're alright, but just for the record, I am not expecting this to start at all. And I've not put a lot of fuel in it because I am going to obviously drop the oil and take all the fuel out of it and rebuild it, basically. But, see what happens.
Hypnotized by the sounds I'm breathing in. Hold tight, hold tight. Chemicals collide. Hold tight, hold tight, hold tight. Dripping lights paint the skies, all because of you.
I've just thought of something. I'll turn the fuel on. Schoolboy error.
Can make me move. Can make me move. Can make me.
Well, as we're developing a puddle of fuel on the floor underneath it, I'd say that the floats are probably stuck, which is half of course, isn't it? Could have guessed that really before it was going to happen. So I'll have to pull the carb off and have a look. No drama.
Make it last forever. Stop in time. Yeah, I'm surrendering. Hold tight, hold tight. Chemicals collide. Hold tight, hold tight, hold tight. Dripping.
Right. Let's pull the float ball off and give it a good clean out. See what happens.
Of you.
Okay, let's pull the carb apart. And you'll not be able to see on here, but the jet's block solid. So that comes as no big surprise, I'm sure. So, see if we can get some fuel through there and clean the rest of it up and put it back together. Jet cleaned. It's not going to run like that, is it? Oh well, keep going. Right, that's the carb back on. The jet was blocked and there's lots of crap in it. The float's still leaking a bit, so I'm only doing it to see if it'll go. So we'll give it another kick. If it doesn't go this time, I'll give up. promise you that wasn't set up. It hasn't even kicked before now. First kick. I cannot believe that. Well, that's not a bad day's work, is it? I don't think I thought it would run there. I've got to say, the kickstart on the camera that you've just watched is genuinely the first time that engine ran. I didn't kick it and then go, oh, I'll turn the camera on for effect. That is genuinely the first time it's run. And I believe it's the first time it's run in 20 years. So 2001 is it was last on the road, and it's been in an abandoned house since then. So that's not bad. Obviously I've not run it for very long. I need to drop the oil and all the stuff that I probably should have done in the first place, to be fair, but I just wanted to see if it would actually run. And all it was a block needle in the carburetor. The float needle, float valve is still leaking past, so it's dropping fuel on the floor. So I've switched it off. I'm going to pull it all apart properly, put some oil in it, put a plug in it, and really go to town on that carb. So that's not bad. It's in worse condition than I thought, but having said that, it's still not in bad nick at all. You know, you see them with rotten frames, like really rotten frames. It's not rotten at all. I've got my hands right up, so I need to pull it all apart, obviously. I have my hand right up, and it's solid in the places that you would think it would be rotten, and it's not. Surface rust all over it, so it's a little bit worse for wear, but it's nothing that you know, strip down and a lick of paint won't fix. So I'm pretty chuffed for that. Happy days.